I will speak you a bit about this workshop called Dimension of Love. That is a model of a longer training that altogether right now is 4 years, but the basic one is 2 years. Um, this is based in teachings of different traditions and different psychology approaches that I receive and been involved since 1997 when I start my path. And this model, dimension of love, for me is very special because it works to the dimension of the heart. So actually, this 5 days retreat is a process to unfold and understand the nature of your heart. So we have different dimensions in our essence. Our essence is not like doesn't have only one color, you know. Our dimension it have many different. Our essence it have many different dimensions, and in its dimension it have different quality. For example, we work with compassion, we work with presence, we work with joy, we work with strength essence, we work with peace essence. And one of the dimension of this essence is love. The dimension of love is, for me, the dimension of love, it shows up the capacity to see the magic of life. Somehow, what makes us happy or unhappy in this life is how is the state of our heart, how our heart feels, if our heart feels contracted, or if our heart feels expanded, but also if our heart um, really is nourished by all the wishes that needs, that's reclaimed. Somehow the heart is the most precious door or of our essential nature. Because the heart it have this quality that is sensitive, this quality that is passionate, this quality that is about loving kindness. But in our heart we become humans. We have an understanding of what divinity is, human. All traditions, the religions of the really old times, many of them are disassociated. They have a concept of God that is more about other dimensions. But especially with the arrival of the Tantra, but also of a Christianism, like the arrival of the Sufism or the Buddhism. They really go much more deeper in this dimension because somehow is the dimension where God gets human. You know, there is the image of Christ. There is the image of Mohammed, and there is something really, really, really special. Personally, I start my path at 97. I don't think that it's possible a true embodiment of our essence and the truth without open the heart. You know, I mean, I don't like the terminology of open the heart because it looks that it's something that you can do, that the ego can do, and actually you can't do. But you can inquire on it, and this is what is about this training. It's about inquire. It's about investigate. It's about getting aware of many things that we are not aware. You know, every day we go out and our hair is sensitive. Our heart gets closed. Our heart gets scared. You know, but also we go out and our heart gets desire. Our heart gets wish. Our heart is longing. But also we fall in love. You know, or even many of the times is a mixture of things. You know, you can feel very vulnerable because you have the desire that you want to be alive. You know, you want to open up. You really want to enjoy. You really want to give yourself. But at the same time, there is something in your ego structure that doesn't allow you to do that. There are certain breaks, certain defenses on your ego structure that stops you. And even sometimes can be very painful. Even physically can hurt the pain, the heart when it's and hurt the heart when it's closed. So in our daily life, we are facing many, many things where the intelligence of the heart is involved. You know, because when our heart contracts, or when our heart dissociates, the rest of ourself is dissociated, many of the times is just an intelligent response because we cannot really like take what is really happening. Personally, for me, it was a life issue because I have all over my life many experiences where my heart feels so open, really like so open, an openness that is organic, an openness that is enormous, you know, that I really fall in love with existence. I fall in love with my life. I fall in love with myself, with my friends, with the place where I live, with my daily life. But you know, many other times, also I feel so closet, you know, and I feel so separated, and I feel so dissociated. When we feel dissociated, you know, our energy go out, start to project outside, start to research happiness outside. You dissociate for your inner feelings and you start to feel that something is missing and you are trying to get it by your mind, that anything you get is not enough and you're still having the sense that some piece is missing inside. So in our life we are facing many situations where this longing is frustrated. And all of us, we cross that. All of us, we cross for situations that, fuck, I don't get what I want. I don't get this state that I feel that I belong to. And this is a life path inquiry. This is a life path exploration. There is many subtleties that you need to observe. There is more misunderstandings inside of you, in the way how your ego structure is trying to build up something that replace this lack of love. You know, the ego structure always try to copy our essence, try to recreate how essence is. Heart is the heart is wise, and heart is delicate. And in this delicate, there is a lot of strength. There is a lot of aliveness. There is a lot of joy. There is a lot of compassionate and loving kindness that somehow is an understanding of life. It's an understanding of the nature of the sufferman. You know, like Buddhists talk a lot sufferman. Also, like Christianism talks a lot about sufferman. Because much of the things of life is how to deal with this sufferman. And don't get closed, don't get your heart shut down. You know, how I can just take this sufferman in a way that makes my life richer, makes my life wise. How I take this sufferman with loving kindness. And loving kindness, I mean, there is many forms of love. And loving kindness is one of the most refined. Let's say that loving kindness is the love that grandpas and grandmas develop. You know, because you need experience, you need to cross, bring all your life, all over pain, all over the difficulties of life. Also, when we inquire about love, we inquire also about the false love. the narcissistic love, that is not love itself, it is a recreation. It's an imitation, it's a fake copy of love. And this used to happen a lot when we are not, we don't have enough loving kindness in our heart, and we cannot deal with our own pain and with the pain outside. And because we have feel this emptiness of love, we are trying to recreate. So when we inquiring into the dimension of love, we need to see also the poisons, the things that looks love, but they are not. Like fake smilings. Sometimes can be like over courtesy, kind of fake kindness. You know, you act like you are kind, but inside you are angry. You know, but there is a dissociation between your feelings and what you are expressing out. Also, many of the New Age movement it have this false love. Sometimes we meet, we gather, we celebrate, but something is missing. What is missing is authenticity and truth. Truth is when it opens up the heart. The truth belongs to the heart. The point of the truth is that many times can piss you off. Sometimes it's not. It's nice to feel truth. It's not nice to face the truth and to stay with the truth. But actually, truth is what allows us to go out of this illusion, all these projections that disconnect us from the nature of our heart. The dimension of love, as I say, is quite linked with the nature of our heart. What makes our heart to be open? What makes our heart to feel closed? What is the delicateness of our heart? So, when we inquire in the dimension of love, we enter in a space where you can really feel your heart. And also physically, like you feel your chest. You feel your chest. You feel your chest there, and you start to feeling the physical sensations of the chest. You start to feel, okay, this part of the chest, it feels more contracted. But in this part of the chest, of the heart, there is something more sparkling, where I feel something very soft, very like nice. I feel like a rose water. I feel something sweet. Or I feel a longing, or I feel a desire and completion. I feel that I need to talk with somebody, or or I feel that I need to be a little bit more honest with myself, and I need to take certain decisions, or I need to stop to do something. Or even in the chest, we can feel abuse, sometimes self abuse, because our heart is very sensitive, it's super sensitive. And maybe we are pushing up to leave certain situations, or we are pushing up because we feel certain deficiencies inside, and we feel that we need to cross over these deficiencies. Maybe I'm ashamed or something, and I push myself over, and my heart feels frigging, and sometimes we can feel also in the heart certain voice. Sometimes even the heart can talk to us. And to learn the voice of the heart is one of the most beautiful practices that you can experience in this life. It needs certain training. Also, it's needed to locate different parts of your psyche, because what happened to many of the seekers is that sometimes the voice of the heart gets mixed with the voice of the superego, or it gets mixed with different conditionings. Also, it needs a process of distillation. You need certain knowledge. Certain knowledge is needed also to take the bell of your heart, to take the essence of your heart. The heart it have a different states. Inside of the dimension of love, there is many dimensions. For example, how do you feel? How does it feel your heart when you fall in love? Just sense it right now. Sense what happened in your heart when you fall in love. In the falling in love, there is an extraordinary openness, an extraordinary exposition of the nature of the heart. Somehow the falling in love is an unconscious state of trust. It's like you are meeting somebody, or you are meeting yourself, or you are meeting wherever you are in love with, that you say, yes, it's that. And certainly there is something in your essential nature that's, wow, openness. And certainly many hidden treasures are showing up to us. That's why, falling in love, and even romantic love, why not? It it brings up, it gives you access to corners of your heart that doesn't used to be available for us. Not always are available. And in the falling of love suddenly, wow. In the falling in love suddenly is like, what's that? That's why sometimes falling in love can become even an addiction. Because sometimes in our regular life, if we don't practice meditation, if we are not following a spiritual path, if we really don't embody love but ourselves, we don't have a practice that support us to unfold the nature of our heart and really like live love in our life, we get like relationship junkies. We get addicted to this state. So part of the teachings that we are unfolding here are about recognize this state of openness and availability, deep connection with inner sources, deep connection with inner treasures, to get it as a natural state that is not depending from an external object or an external person. It's something that you discover that is just how it functions, your nature is so strange because we are educated very differently. Basically, we are educated that we will get love if we found our soulmate, and we are educated that we will love if we are successful in life, if we have money. Basically, are the two references, and both of them are totally external. But in our culture, we don't have this knowledge that you get love just to hold the silence inside of you. And silence is another dimension of love. Is the other dimension is the peace of the heart. Is the peace of the heart. Because this is a really like deep longing. A longing to feel still. The fact to feel complete. The fact of feel rooted. The fact of sense that everything is okay. That there is peace on the earth. And there is silence. There is meditation. And a space that you can go inwards with yourself. can breathe there. And this sense of inner peace also is linked with another dimension of love, that is the benevolence of existence. And it's kind of the certain feeling that life is benevolent. It means that is good. It's beautiful. A certain softening on the air. Benevolence is kind of a feeling of deep trust of the heart. And then we enter in a kind of love that is not only in your heart, it's also something that is existential. It's something that it's all over and around, and it cares. It's mother love, maybe. For some of you can be kind of feel the love of this beautiful planet. To feel how generous is with us. To feel how sweet. To feel how caring is with us. There is a caring quality. We are moving from a love that is a source within through something that is embracing from outside, something that is transpersonal. So we are moving from our ego limitation to existence. And also there is two directions, it's from the chest out, but there is another direction of love that is from within, something about receptivity. And both movements, what they do is to dissolve the structure of our ego. Dissolve the structure that is defending us. An intelligent structure, a really, really, really intelligent, like an amazing technology. Ego is such an amazing technology of support us. Ego is a friend. It's like the most basic soldier. Is really fighting so strongly. Ego is so loyal to us. It's a soldier that you cannot give the role of be the king. Because soldier need to be a soldier. Soldier need to go into the ground and to fight for, but you cannot put it in the place of the king. But wherever it is, another big subject. But what I want to say right now is that love have this quality of dissolve or eco structure. And in this dissolving, we are experiencing our essential nature. Oh, we are breathing differently, sensing differently, experience very differently. Another very important area to inquire about the dimension of the heart is our personal history with love. How we experience love, how we experience fall in love, but also if we have experience of where our heart feels betrayed, feel pain, or feel abandonment, or feel worth or unworth, lovable or non-lovable. If we feel part of the community, part of the tribe, part of the friendship, or we feel a part of. Also, if love is part of your spiritual path, it's like the human, the horizontal love is part of your spiritual path, or is not. Which experiences in this life our heart grows by? How we experience the absence of love, the void of love. So there is a collection of experiences, and there is a collection of feelings very delicate, are sometimes are very painful, but always, always there is a lot of subtleties that you need to learn how to inquire on it. Also, you need certain knowledge. You need to know how psyche works. I cannot talk fully in the chat because this is an enormous another area. But also, you need certain discernment. It's very important because without this discernment, everything it comes mixed. And you feel that your heart is open, but at the same time you feel jealousy, but at the same time you feel betrayed. At the same time you have projection into the other. Also you have a self-image, and the object relation, and it comes mixed. So always you need knowledge of how the psyche function or ego structure is, how is the kingdom of our essence. But in our life we cross over many experiences, and maybe we are spending the childhood feeling apart or feeling rejected, or we have difficulties to find a beloved, or when we found we get super attached and it becomes a war, or I don't know, we feel betrayed by God, by existence. That love of God is not arriving to our life nevermore. We have the feeling that we lose the benediction of love. So we have many very personal experiences in our life. And it's so interesting to inquire on it. It's so interesting to understand how are our feelings when we cross over all these experiences, because all of us, we have to deal with. All of us, we need to deal with this sensitivity, with our vulnerability. But also all of us, we have an enormous intelligence on the heart and can overcome. But in the teachings, we spend a lot of time just inquiring and investigating and trying to know the nature of all these events in our life. We spend time trying to understand how we deal, because the heart is pure, the heart is innocence, the heart is light free, heart free, the heart is freshness, is spontaneity, is yellow light, is sunlight, is beautiness. a lot of hearts around the heart. There's a lot of small pain around the heart. And it's needed to understand how this pain creates a situation around our hearts, creates kind of a constellation. Because if I feel envy in my heart, this it creates a certain constellation around our heart. And each of the difficulties that we feel on life is because the sensitivity of our heart cannot be adapted to this pain, cannot digest, cannot really like take the light of each of our wounds. Because there is a lot of light inside of each wound. But in order to get access to this light, you need to inquire. And this is is very horizontal, is you need to really need to go to your personal history. You can don't get this specific light if you don't enter in the specific history, personal history. And I'm not saying to reinforce the ideas of your ego structure. It's not about repeating drama. It's about to learn how to hold the drama in a very different perspective. This very different perspective is called inquiry, self-inquiry. It's about getting in touch with and this needs time, it needs a lot of love, it needs passions. But it's fascinating, really. It's like when you learn how to hold with your awareness, your personal history, it's just amazing to go into the process to understanding and to learn how to get light, the heart light to the heart. So this is a very important aspect of personal history. And then and then also it's quite related aspect is the, the separation. Separation is so. Heart is sensitive, and in this sensitivity, it contains the universe itself. So you feel united because the substance, the essence of the heart itself is the essence of existence. It's same. I don't like to use these words, but it's same vibration. I don't like to use the word vibration because today everybody talks about vibration and energy, and it's very, you don't know what people are talking about. But somehow there is some treasure of the heart that is the treasure of existence. And really it's like Now I'm going more in our psyche. Every fucking part of our psyche is developed around this separation issue. That more primarily is the separation with mother. We come here to existence to heal this separation wound. And it's so deep, you know. Sometimes that's the deep that we cannot work straight on it. We need to work in the issues around separation, because the separation itself is super painful. We can die. If you really feel the issue of separation, maybe you die, because it's death itself, you know, it's the end. It's the end of all. So in the dimension of love, we need to continuously lead an inquiring into separation. It's just it's part of the thing. We come to this life, we come to this existence, and we need to deal with, you know. And that's why it's so painful, and we do all kind of things to avoid that, you know. With this separation, we drink wine, or some people use medicines, or also you can have a spiritual practice that is designed to avoid this feeling of separation, to run away, run over this feeling of separation. But you know, it's our condition, and if we want to understand our nature, we need to cross. We need to learn about how I react to separation, what to do to avoid separation. I put limits. Some people forget totally in his system. Never in his life put a limit. Because a limit, it creates separation, and separation, it creates pain, but also it creates individualization. This separation also brings us the knowledge that we stay separated. And this moment is like a very dry desert, very, uh, very dry space. You know, it's very empty space. It's so difficult to hold. But also it's the doorway to another dimension. That, I mean, it's not the issue of today, but it's not the theme of today, but it's a very important aspect, this separation, this not knowing sometimes, this blankness, this disorientation, this pain on the heart to be separated. And you know, this pain on the heart to be separated, it creates a lot of space. And the space is love. So separation is creating love. Because it's creating a space. And this is the core of meditation. Meditation is the recognition of the inner space. And itself, there is the recognition of love. The recognition of self-awareness. The recognition of the kindness. And when you stay there, when you are taking this love, you can experience also like merging. You recognize like, oh, this state of unity, of relaxation, of well-being, of silence too. But music, poetry. Poetry brings us into this merging, like Sufis poems bring us to this merging dimension. There's a sense of self-connection and intimacy. It's like make love with your beloveds. It's like this sense of completion. Honey test. Be close of the fire in autumn or winter. Just maybe in autumn in the last hour of the day with this golden light of the sun. You're close of the fire, and there is a sense that in words there is a lot of richness. There is a lot of value on that. There is certain fulfillment. There is certain self-connection and well-being. So the dimension of love is all these aspects and being manifest by your human nature, the nature of your heart, and the connection with the beloved one. The connection with what? An existence.